Russia arrests U.S. journalist Evan Gershkovich on spying charge. This is the responsibility of the FSB, they have already issued a statement, said Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov. The only thing I can add is, as far as we know, he was caught red-handed. Even before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022, reporting from Russia had become increasingly difficult. Independent journalists were labeled foreign agents and BBC Russia correspondent Sarah Rainsford was expelled from the country. When the war began, Russia introduced a criminal offense for reporting fake news or discrediting the army, under which dozens of Russians have been convicted for criticizing the invasion on social media. Almost all independent media were silenced, shut down or blocked, including major outlets TV Rain, Echo of Moscow Radio and newspaper Novaya Gazeta. Many Western media chose to leave Russia. Russian political expert Tatyana Stanovaya said Mr. Gershkovich's detention had come as a shock. In the FSB's view of espionage, collecting information could simply mean gathering comments from experts, she said, while acting on U.S. instructions could simply refer to his editors at the Wall Street Journal. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said what a Wall Street Journal employee was doing in Yekaterinburg had nothing to do with journalism. It was not the first time the status of foreign correspondent had been used to cover up activities that are not journalism, she said. Tensions between the Kremlin and the West have become increasingly tense in the 13 months of Russia's war in Ukraine. Reporters Without Borders said it was alarmed by what looks like retaliation. Several U.S. citizens are being held in Russia. Days before the invasion, American basketball star Brittany Griner was detained at a Moscow airport and jailed for carrying cannabis oil. It was 10 months before she was freed in exchange for notorious Russian arms dealer Viktor Bout. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov told local news agencies that it was too early to discuss prisoner swaps. I would not even put the question in this plane now, because you understand that some exchanges that happened in the past took place for people who were already serving sentences, he said. Gwyneth Paltrow ski crash trial, here's closing arguments. Closing arguments are underway in a civil trial over a 2016 ski collision involving U.S. actress and entrepreneur Gwyneth Paltrow. Retired optometrist Terry Sanderson, 76, alleges Ms. Paltrow crashed into him, leaving him with life-changing injuries. He is seeking $300,000, £245,000, in damages. Ms. Paltrow, 50, blames him for the accident, and her lawyers argue he is exploiting her celebrity status. The Oscar winner is countersuing for $1 plus her legal fees. Ms. Paltrow has been present in court every day of her civil trial in Park City, in western Utah. The room, Courtroom B at Park City's 3rd District Court, was full with people waiting to hear the final day of evidence and statements on Thursday. Mr. Sanderson claims the accident at the upmarket resort left him with brain damage and broken ribs and damaged his relationships with his family. Ms. Paltrow denied being responsible for the accident during her testimony last week. Thursday's proceedings kicked off half an hour later than usual and were beset with technical difficulties. Dr. Richard Boehm, the prosecution's final rebuttal witness, testified virtually via Zoom while on holiday, but he was forced to move to a less effective method of testifying via speakerphone. Dr. Boehm argued the defense's biomechanics expert on ski collision had mischaracterized the nature of the accident, but also conceded he had not skied in decades and had no expertise in ski accidents. In their closing argument, Mr. Sanderson's lawyer said that Ms. Paltrow was a good person and not a liar, but that her version of events did not hold up to scrutiny. Terry went out for a fun day of skiing, Robert Sykes said. He never came back that night as the same person. His colleague Lawrence Bueller added that the defense had skewered his client over his pre-existing health issues, but that he was healthy enough to ski and now he doesn't. Still on the mountain. They argued the retired optometrist's life changed and that, in many ways, he was still on the mountain. In their own turn, defense lawyers said Ms. Paltrow had been pounded like a punching bag by a man who likes to be in the spotlight. He hit her, he hurt her and he's not entitled to sue her, said Steve Owens. His colleague James Egan added that it was hard for Mr. Sanderson to accept the decline he is experiencing and had grabbed onto the collision to explain it. Ms. Paltrow wants him off the mountain too, he said, but she should not be responsible for the cost.